I firmly believe the President's decision to withdraw from Afghanistan was the right one. American troops are no longer fighting and dying in Afghanistan. The American people are safer and more secure. In fact, many of the most pessimistic predictions have been thoroughly disproven. We were told Afghanistan would once again become a haven for terrorists, and that, as the majority report contends, we would be all but blind to the situation on the ground. In fact, Al-Qaeda, the group that attacked us on 9/11, has not regrouped in Afghanistan.
Has expired. Let me just say, with the fall of Afghanistan,
we were told hundreds of Americans and Afghan partners would be left behind. Yet today, every U.S. citizen who told us that they wanted to leave during the evacuation has now had the opportunity to do so. And to those Americans who entered the country since August 2021 and have been detained by the Taliban, we will not rest until we bring you home.
Let me ask you this. When President Biden announced his unconditional surrender to the Taliban on April the 14th, 2021, you demanded that Embassy Kabul remain open, no matter what the cost. Your personnel opposed that. In fact, they did so in a cable dissent that we were able to get from you in our discovery process, a cry for help. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs to the CENTCOM commander, Millie McKenzie, said this was a fundamental mistake, a fatal flaw, and their biggest regret is keeping the embassy open despite the advice of your own people on the ground and military advisors. Why did you do that?
Very simply, because no one anticipated that the government and the Afghan armed forces would collapse as quickly as they did. We anticipated, and every intelligence assessment that we had anticipated, that Kabul would remain in the hands of the government, in the hands of the Afghan armed forces, through the balance of the year. And
I mean, reclaim my time because I want to say.
Please let me finish.
I will let you finish.
The chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Mark Milley, said.
And it is the statutory responsibility, sir, for you to execute the plan, correct? The NEO.
The deal was executed by the State Department and the Defense Department.
And I would have to say, sir, waiting till the last minute is not executing a plan at all. And it led to the deaths of many Americans and Afghan people and Afghan allies.
Mr. Chairman, the record reflects that, again,
we're told by public sources that NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg was, quote, livid, informing Secretary Austin and yourself that he, quote, strongly disagreed with the decision and felt that NATO's collective position hadn't been taken into account, unquote.
I'll let Mr. Stoltenberg speak for himself.
Yeah. So here's the bottom line. NATO's stronger today, but not because of you all. NATO is stronger because your weakness invited Putin to move against Ukraine. You signaled you weren't going to stand with our NATO allies. You didn't care. President Biden didn't care about our NATO allies and what they thought about a retreat from Afghanistan. Instead, what it did is it signaled weakness.
This alliance is bigger, it's better resourced, it's got more members because of...
Just months after the withdrawal from Afghanistan, we did face a new threat, and that was Putin's illegal and unjustified renewed invasion of Ukraine in February of 2022. So yes or no, do you see any connection between Putin's re-invasion of Ukraine and the United States withdrawal from Afghanistan?
No, on the contrary. I think our adversaries, including Russia, would have been delighted if we had doubled down and remained stuck in Afghanistan for another 20 years.
And I remind folks that 13 brave Americans lost their lives, and there's a lot of moms and dads that lost their kids because of this. And the blood is on your all's hands, and that needs to be acknowledged.